I really appreciate you're all coming here on a Sunday, beautiful day. You could be on the beach walking, but you chose to commit to come to a health talk. And I really appreciate that. The name of the talk is Health Through Nutrition. What I wanted to do with this talk is take confusion totally out of your mind about what to do to stay healthy, to practice prevention, to keep yourself going until we're all 90 years old and we're still riding our bikes and enjoying health, and we're not under the care of somebody else because of the conditions that our senior individuals are in today. And that's my goal, really. I want to get to that old age and still be kicking. July, I celebrated 69 years of age. So I think my health and vitality is a result of my lifestyle. 20 years ago, I took control over my health. I was very confused, and so a lot of the information I'm going to share with you today is going to give you the things that unconfused me, if that's the right word, and made me know exactly what to do to keep myself healthy. 20 years ago, I was in bad shape. I had chronic eczema, and it's the type of eczema that the skin would open into ulcerated lesions, and it would bleed, and you have all kinds of lymphatic fluid coming out of my skin. I had ulcers, I had hypothyroidism, I had hemorrhoids, you name it. I was a basket case. And so I'm a good patient. I always listen to the doctor. And of course, I was on several medications at the time because I had that chronic eczema, and the only solution, of course, is a cream that's steroids based. And being a good patient, I took that for 15 years. And it almost caused me a lot of major health problems as I was aging. So then, after following...
That's a good idea. I can't hear you hardly done it.
Okay, I'll raise my voice, but that's important because some people... Do you guys want it on?
I'd rather hear you than the fan.
Okay. Okay. So basically, after you go to allopathic doctors and they keep giving you the same medications and they increase the strength, now that I'm developing some serious symptoms, and I know it's a result of taking so many medications, where do I go? So now I look into natural healing. I went to naturopathic, homeopathic, herbalists, Ayurvedic, you name it. Money was not an issue. I would ask for the best of the best in that field of natural healing. And of course they help. I see some results from taking herbs or Ayurvedic medicine, but then after I stop it, all the symptoms come back again. So now where do I go? So the confusion that I went through is, what do? I have tried everything. I have tried every type of diet. Should I be eating as a vegetarian to feel healthy? Should I be eating based on blood type? Should I be eating according to the Ayurvedic modality? So I'm not sure if you associate with that kind of confusion, because every single diet type, every single health modality always tells you they can help and support my health and bring me back to a state of balanced immune system and good health. But none of that worked. So This is where I was. What do I do? And sometimes things happen in life for a reason. You meet somebody that gives you some information that sort of gives you that light at the end of the tunnel, and you start to see that this is really the solution, that everything else I was doing in the past, it didn't make sense as much as what this person told me. And it was, at the time, 20 years ago, it was an audio tape. So today it's a CD. And I'm going to give you that CD. But first, let me tell you about what this CD taught me, what this lecture taught me, and it was by a medical doctor. And what it taught me is something very, very simple, and that is a certain health model. This health model explained to me why chronic diseases happen and how do we reverse these chronic diseases. I actually could do that. My own body, I take responsibility, but what do? These doctors came up with the solutions. They came up with the explanations, the causes, and what to do after that. Now that made sense to me. This is a discipline called functional medicine. How many of you have heard of functional medicine? So if you Google functional medicine, these are all MDs. You could find functional medicine doctors in Seattle, and you go see them. I took my late husband to one of these doctors, and they did the tests and everything. And a lot of what they teach makes so much sense. And that's when I decided, this is it. I want to follow this health model because it made sense to me. But how functional medicine started, it didn't start with these doctors doing the tests and the research. It actually started as a concept of why we get chronic diseases and how do we heal them. Back in the 60s, and this is the first book that got the idea that we really can reverse a lot of the conditions that we have if we take care of our health ourselves. Food is your best medicine. And he explained in this book a very simple health model. And he explained the causes of the conditions, the degenerative conditions that we suffer from today. What this doctor said, and I'm going to pass on information to you later on about what this doctor has said. I have summarized all what this book and other books about functional medicine into 3 pages. And that's what I'm going to pass on to you to read. If you don't like to read books, then you can read these 3 pages and you'll get the idea of what functional medicine or nutritional medicine is all about. But this is where it all started. How did Dr. Bieler explain a degenerative disease developing? He said it develops throughout the years, whether you call it migraines or you call it arthritis or you call it ulcers or you call it eczema like my condition, because the first line of defense is your digestive system. And throughout the years, from childhood, from the day you're born to the day you start developing symptoms for a certain condition, you always can trace it back to the first line of defense that falls apart, that no longer can assimilate nutrients, digest nutrients, eliminate nutrients, or eliminate the waste. So he says, for whatever reason, exposure to toxins, the wrong foods that we're eating, digestive system no longer is doing its job. One of its job is also elimination of waste, right? Elimination of, when the food turns to energy, there's leftover. So that has to come out, and that's called ash. So that has to come out in the urine, in the stool every day. So if the digestive system is not able to do that anymore, constipation is a major epidemic today. So imagine all that waste is staying in the human body. So I thought I'd never suffered from constipation. So why would I have skin problems? I always go to the bathroom once a day. But after I improved my health many years later, I'm amazed at my size. I'm a small person. That I go to the bathroom now 3-4 times a day. That's how a good digestive system should work. And the amount of food you eat is the amount that should come out. Because energy, when the food breaks down and the body turns it to energy, all what it needs is just the nutrients, so the solid part of the food has to come out as a waste. So anyway, he says if the digestive system breaks down and can't do its job, years go by, you don't make changes to your lifestyle. I had, not a big deal as I was growing up, a little bit of sore throat, some flu, colds, ear infection. No big deal. My mom always gave me the medicine. I took the medicine. Years go by, nothing happens. Now the burden, when the digestive system doesn't work, falls on the liver. The liver is your largest detoxification system. So then the liver has to do the job of the digestive system. It's not made for that. But now, if it doesn't help, then the person really get in trouble. So the body is always on a survival mode. It's always trying to help, to keep you healthy. And so the liver says, okay, I'll do both jobs. I'll take the job of the digestive system, and I'll try to do my job in detoxification. But at the end of the day, there's not enough energy for the liver to do that job. So then many years go by, no changes, nothing really major happens to the body, so no big deal, I'm healthy. The burden now falls on the third line of defense that Dr. Beeler calls it the endocrine glands, the thyroid, the pituitary, and the adrenal. When the burden of doing the job of your digestive system and your liver is done now by these glands, endocrine glands, that's when you become labeled with a certain disease. So for me, having chronic eczema, the burden fell. We lead always with one type of gland, sometimes more than one gland. For us eczema patients and for people who have allergies, we lead with our thyroid. That's the main communication gland. And so when we lead with the thyroid, that means the thyroid is going to take the burden of doing the job of the liver and the digestive system. So the thyroid says, I can't clean the waste every day, so how do I clean it? I'm connected to the skin. So I'm going to use the skin to cleanse the waste every day. And all of a sudden, somebody is experiencing acne, boils, eczema, psoriasis, you name it. This is how Beeler explained degenerative conditions. Why it happens. That made sense to me. Because if I remember from childhood, I had all types of major problems in my intestinal tract. As I was a teenager, I would go out, I'm going on a date, I would come back with so much pain in my stomach, and I always attributed that to being nervous, going out with a guy, and I'm nervous. So I come back and I have all these stomach ache. But it wasn't that. It was all about having the digestive system in a dysfunctional state for many, many years. So there's accumulation of gas, there's acid reflux, and if I become nervous, of course that will equate to problems in my digestive system. So if I took inventory of how my digestive system was throughout the years, by the time I was in my 40s, now I understand why I have eczema. It isn't that the skin has a disease that I'm supposed to put cream on it. It's because if I took my history, there's problems in my digestive system. So according to Henry Beeler, I need to address the digestive system health, which will take the burden off the liver. That way, my skin will heal. That way, there won't be a burden on my thyroid gland. So you sort of go backward. So you don't try to fix the thyroid or the skin. You always try to fix the digestive system and the liver. Those are your key. What are those? Those are your detoxification system. So 10 years in the 70s, actually in the 80s, medical doctors paid attention to what Henry Beeler said in that book in the 60s. And they started doing tests, research, and they came up with a medical discipline called functional medicine. You could take the courses, you could be certified as a functional medicine practitioner. I love what these doctors have done. They've written so many books. This is one of them, Optimal Digestive Health. And in here, there's a chart which shows exactly what Henry Beeler has said many years ago, back in the 60s. And I'll put that chart up so that you can see it. Now we're coming to real medical applications to prove beyond the shadow of the doubt that if your digestive system is not working right, nothing else in the body will work right. Not your brain, not your heart, not your shoulders, not your skin. So you always have to start with healing your digestive system. Now they call it leaky gut. So they have certain tests. I'm sure if I went to a functional medicine doctor, he would have told me I have leaky gut, the enzymes in my liver. So from leaky gut, you go to a dysfunctional liver. He will tell me the enzymes in my liver are high or low, just that tells me that the liver is not doing its detoxification job. And so the toxins are spread everywhere else in the body. It could go to your knees. Now you have arthritis in that area. It could go to your shoulders. We don't know. It all depends on your weakest systems in the body. It could go to the pancreas. It could go anywhere. So they're saying the same thing. If you go to a medical functional medicine doctor, they want to help you support the liver and the digestive system. So it's the same thing that Henry Beeler said, but in his book, you only find anecdotal stories. You don't find scientific confirmation that every single chronic now I'm not talking about infectious, I'm talking about chronic degenerative conditions, that when you go to a doctor, they tell you, we don't know why you have arthritis, why you have diabetes. We don't know why you have all of that, but here's a medicine. It'll keep you alive, it'll take the symptoms, let's suppress the symptoms so you can function normal. But every medication has side effects. So you gotta look at the causes in your lifestyle. You gotta take responsibility of your health. And educating yourself is the #1 requirement. Don't take my word for it. Start to read these books. They're very simple. There's 4 or 5 of them. If you read these books I'm recommending, you'll know exactly what I knew, and you'll know how to take control of your health. I'm going to pass on the information that has to do with this section about functional medicine and how they explain the causes of disease and how you can reverse it by supporting the liver and the digestive system. So take one of each, pass that on. What I did in this article is reading 20 books on functional medicine. I summarized it in 3 pages. So when you read this, you'll know exactly what all these 20 pages are all about. That is the health model that I followed, that made sense to me, that stopped me from going to clinics. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not against you going and finding out what's going on with you. You always have to find out. You have to go to the doctor. You have to know. You have to do the test. You have to find out what exactly is going on in your body. And then, if it's not a major disease that's life-threatening, just take some time back and educate yourself and see what you can do and what changes you can do in your lifestyle to help you reverse whatever condition that you have. Because the solution is out there and it is in your control. So now that we talked about the health model, when you go to a nutritional medicine or a functional medicine doctor, they want you to take so many supplements. When we went to see this functional medicine doctor for my husband, he listed 20 supplements that my husband was supposed to take. The beta carotene, the C, the E, the B, the protein shake, and so forth. So, supplements, according to functional medicine, are necessary. And I agree with that. But where I disagree is that I don't think the vitamin C that you're being given by a doctor, by a functional medicine doctor, is the same as vitamin C in kiwi or in orange. Huge difference. Vitamin C is ascorbic acid. The vitamin C in kiwi is made of so many parts that form the complex vitamin C. So your body is not stupid. Your body wants the complex configuration of vitamins, of minerals, of amino acids. So supplements are necessary. And once again, I'm going to go through the supplements, the basic ones initially that are necessary to support your digestive system. But they are all food-based. They are not the A, B, C, the beta-carotene that you find in many of the hundreds of supplements that you can buy on the shelf today. So there's a huge difference in terms of what supplements that you need to support your body. Now, food is very important. You have to make changes to the diet, and I'll simplify that again for you at the end of this talk. But supplements formulate 50% of the solution to help you get to the level of health that you've always desired. So, if I'm trying to help my digestive system, what can I do with foods? What's in the digestive system that might be missing, that's causing me to have constipation or causing me diarrhea or bloating or acid reflux? Now you start to learn about the friendly bacteria. Everybody's talking about it today on television. You turn on the TV and there's an ad about probiotics. 3-4 years ago, you never heard about that. Well, thank God I learned about that many, many years ago. And probiotics as a supplement have existed since the 50s. They've been around. But nobody talks about them, nobody recommends them. It's always the isolated, man-made supplements that people talk about. So basically, I want to support my digestive system. I'm going to look at probiotics because I'm pretty sure that I didn't have enough in my gut. So in the old days, we didn't have refrigeration. 100 years ago, we started having refrigeration. People used to ferment foods. Why? To extend its shelf life? Shelf life. And, sorry, English is my second language, so sometimes I'm translating from my native language to English, and we go right to left. So sometimes I mix the two words. So when I see you smiling, I know I've done something. I said something wrong. But anyway, so to extend the shelf life of a food, they ferment it, and that way you increase the amount of bacteria in that food. And that's how they replenished the good bacteria to their diet every day. Well, since refrigeration, we don't do that anymore. And I know with my hurried lifestyle, I don't take the time to ferment foods. I will buy some good quality yogurt and eat it. But if you have a condition that you're trying to heal from, you have to rely on friendly bacteria supplements. So the basic supplements that you want to get started on are single strains of Acidophilus and Bifidus. Bifidus is for the large colon. Acidophilus is for the small intestine. There are other strains, but when you have a major health issue, you want to start always slow, and you want to start with a single strain as you introduce it to your digestive system. How do you know the criteria by which to choose a good probiotic? Probiotics need food to work. They need their own nutrients. So we learned through science that probiotics are best if they're introduced to the body with minerals. Not single isolated minerals like calcium or magnesium. That stuff is not the real stuff that you find in foods. But you gotta mix it with a food that's mineral rich. So these probiotics here are micro-blended with blue-green algae, with microalgae. Microalgae is the one food on this planet that has the highest amounts of organic minerals. And I'll talk more about it in a minute. But that makes sense, because now when I take my Acidophilus, it's already ready to go to work. It's ready to repopulate in the gut. So it has its own foods. Now, we covered the good bacteria. The second supplement that you would need would be digestive enzymes. You don't hear about this a lot in commercials, but trust me, in a year or two, it will be in every commercial on television. Because just like what happened with probiotics, they found a market for it, they know that it helps, and they understand that it's so important for our health today. If you had to spend money on one supplement only to keep you in good shape, to keep your digestive system in good shape, it would be digestive enzymes. Because if you cook a food, well, let me start by saying enzymes are in every raw food. It's in everything natural in life. If you see the leaves that fall on the ground and in a few weeks it turns yellow, from green to yellow, that's an enzymatic reaction. If you cut an apple and you put it on the table, you come back an hour later and it's brown, that's an enzymatic reaction. Enzymes is in every life form, including meat. If you eat raw meat, it has its own enzymes. Just like the traditional Eskimos, they don't cook their meat. They eat it raw. Japanese eat fish raw. That's healthier for you. I'm not saying go out and eat raw meat. I'm just saying that traditionally people ate raw meat, raw foods, and there was enzymes in it. The job of enzymes is to break down, because we don't liquefy the food in our mouth, right? It goes in pieces in our gut. So the job of enzymes, if we take a supplement with it, with the food that we ate, or if the food is raw and it's already in the food that you just ate, like an apple, fresh apple, then with the hydrochloric acid and these enzymes in the apple that you just ate, that piece of apple that is in your gut will turn liquid within an hour. That's the job of enzymes. But let's say you cooked that apple and made apple pie. Heat deactivates all the enzymes in raw food. So any temperature beyond 112 is going to deactivate the enzymes in raw food. So if you cook your meat, you cook your rice, you cook your potatoes, all of that goes in your stomach with no enzymes. If you can live on a 100% raw food diet, that's ideal. I couldn't do it. So if you're eating anything cooked that's devoid of enzymes, the next supplement that you need to support your digestive system is digestive enzymes. Because if you eat the rice or the meat and it's all cooked, then the body says, okay, it's in the gut, there's no enzymes in it. If it sits, it's going to rot. So pancreas, stop insulin production, stop everything, give me some enzymes, because if that food sits there, it's going to, person's going to die, it's going to rot. So the pancreas now has to take the burden of producing digestive enzymes. You don't want to burden your body with anything. You want to support your body at all levels. So in a modern lifestyle, well, we like our cooked foods. I could never, I grew up in Asia. We eat rice all the time. I couldn't think of life without eating rice. And so what do? I take digestive enzymes. And again, enzymes require minerals to work. So the company that produces these supplements microblend the digestive enzymes with microalgae. So algae is very high in minerals. The enzymes have its food. It's ready to work on your cooked food immediately and liquefy it. Now I want you to see this test so that you can get a visual sense of what enzymes would do. So this is a processed pudding, which means it's heated, it's pasteurized, the milk is pasteurized. So if I decide to eat it, it's not liquid, right? It's completely lumpy. So I say, okay, let me take some enzymes with it. And I take my capsule of enzymes. And now it's in my gut with the enzymes, and it mixes. Doesn't have hydrochloric acid here, but the enzymes is doing a good job. This is how enzymes work. So you can imagine when you take your enzymes with your meat or your rice or your potatoes, it starts to liquefy that meal. So within just another minute, this is going to be completely liquid. Of course, this is simple. It's just pasteurized bunch of sugars and dairy. So if you eat something like a complex meal, you need more than one digestive enzymes. So you see, this is what enzymes does. Now in this state, in a liquid state, is when the body can extract the nutrients to go to the blood. If your meat and all that food you ate is not in the liquid state, then it just sits there for quite a while until the pancreas comes to its assistance and produce extra digestive enzymes. See that? That's not magic. Okay. So there are some books here that I want to recommend that you read. And if you don't want to read these books, then I have handouts that will give you a summary of what probiotics are. Ayman, you want to get some chairs? what probiotics are and what digestive enzymes are. I will pass these handouts to you in a minute. Enzymes, the Fountain of Life. This is a great book. There's 3 medical doctors who wrote this book, and they have chapters on every single degenerative condition and how enzymes fit into the health model for that condition. So there is a chapter on multiple sclerosis, there's a chapter on arthritis, osteoarthritis. It's a great book. And it's all the scientific support to why enzymes are so important for our health today.
Can you point out something about why you don't want the body to use pancreatic enzymes?
Well,
Pancreatic enzymes?
there are many types of enzymes, digestive enzymes. Yeah.
You don't want to use them up.
You're talking about the enzymes that the pancreas produce?
Yes.
Okay. So there's a difference between pancreatic enzyme supplement and what the pancreas produces, metabolic enzymes, body enzymes, to help with, and it produces digestive enzymes. So you don't want to exhaust your you don't want to burden any system or organ in your body. So by not eating raw food that has its own enzymes, you're burdening the pancreas that has to deal with cooked foods every day. So when you take an inventory of a child meal today, my grandson lived with us for this summer. He stayed with us for a month and a half. And he's 7 years old. And the diet, I mean, I couldn't change it very much. But you get up in the morning and the kid was having cereal and almond milk, completely cooked and pasteurized. So at least he agreed to take a digestive enzymes with it. And then you look at lunch, peanut butter sandwiches, all cooked and pasteurized. Then at the end of the day, it's rice or potatoes or whatever it is, it's still cooked. So children today, when you take an inventory of their meals, you find that most of it is either processed, cooked, very little raw foods that has enzymes activities in it. So the enzymes become really, really important for our health if you eat anything cooked or processed. Now, this is the latest book I read, Enzymes and Autism. Amazing book, written by a mom who had 2 autistic children. And she took all the research out there for the last 10, 20, 30 years and put it together. And it'll explain to you the relationship of autism to allergies and how allergies can be helped with taking enzymes. So this is another book that I found to be fascinating because it deals with all types of neurological conditions, not just autism. And it goes in details about enzymes and these conditions. The last supplement I want to talk about is a metabolic enzyme supplement. That means it's I take it back. That's not the right one. I want to talk about a protein digesting enzymes. And these are specific enzymes that you take on empty stomach. You don't take it with food. So if you have any inflammatory conditions going on in your body, and now they're finding out that inflammation is related to a lot of the chronic degenerative conditions, like heart-related, brain-related. There's always inflammation associated with these conditions. So basically, the main ingredient is from pineapple stem. And when you read the research about these protein digesting enzymes, proteolytic enzymes. You will be fascinated by how these enzymes can reduce inflammation in a natural way. There's a clinic, Dr. Gonzalez, in New York. He uses 120 capsules a day to treat his patients. And the patients are all cancer-related, all kinds of problems that are way out there at the heart-related. So the good news is that you can take a lot of these enzymes and there's no side effect because they're made from food. So I don't get up every morning and I'm taking tons of these. I have it as an emergency bottle when I travel. So in case I have, Ayman had dysentery one time in one of our trips, you use it. It's also anti-germ, so that's a good news. So you could use it as an anti-germ or anti-inflammatory. I had a tooth infection that I used major amounts of this supplement to reduce the pain and inflammation. So only on an emergency basis. Also prevention. You could start taking a couple of those at bedtime to help your liver to reduce any inflammation that's going on. So this is specifically for inflammatory conditions, for germs, high germ condition in the body like viruses or bacteria. This works really well. If you read about the effect of pineapples, let's say you eat pineapples for 3 days, you fast on pineapples. Of course, your mouth will be very sore, but pineapple can kill parasites. Not just that, but the larvae of the parasites would die. So pineapple is amazing. And I mean, God put these tropical fruits and gave it ingredients that are specifically for people that live in that area where they face germs and bacteria because of the humidity and the heat. And in nature, if you rely on these foods, for example, papaya, the seeds in papaya are the strongest antibacterial if you eat them. So tropical fruits are amazing. And what these enzymes are is just a solution from the pineapple and other enzymes that are put together from papaya, from pineapple, and other foods that are put together in that capsule to take. So let me pass on this information. The first thing I want to pass on is an enzyme CD. This is what turned my health or my life around from understanding how nutrition can improve our health. 20 years ago, I listened to this lecture and I knew that the best thing I can do is to take care of my health through diet and some food-based supplements. So take one, there's an article on probiotics and a summary of what enzymes are. Please pass it on. So we now will make some changes to our diet. We are going to take some supplements, probiotics and digestive enzymes to improve our digestive system. The next basic supplement that I want to talk about is nourishing the body. So even though we might be eating organic foods, and we're eating these organic foods every day, lots of fruits and vegetables, there is no guarantee that these organic fruits and vegetables have the kind of nutrients that you found 100 years ago when we had flooding, and the flood will bring all the nutrients to the soil. Now we have to put fertilizers. It could be organic fertilizer, but still we don't have the guarantee that our organic fruits and vegetables have the type of minerals or the type of vitamins, antioxidants, phytochemicals that we find in foods today that we have to address our health with. So I'm a big believer in taking a whole food supplement in a concentrated way. It could be in powder or in capsules. The reason I chose blue-green algae, blue-green algae comes in two types of supplements. One that supports the whole body, one supports the brain. Why did I choose algae to nourish my body? I look at it as an insurance. Every day I get up, I take my algae, just in case my fruits and vegetables don't have the kind of minerals that the algae has. This algae feeds on volcanic soil. Do you know how rich volcanic soil is? Have you ever been to Hawaii? Did you notice the taste of fruits and vegetables are amazing in these islands? Because of the minerals, because all their soil are volcanic soil, especially if you're in the Big Island. So the algae feeds on volcanic soil in that lake. So 23% of that food are organic minerals. So that's something that to me is very valuable, very precious. You cannot find it today in regular foods. So I rely on the algae as a way to make sure that if my foods don't have the vitamins and minerals and so forth, then taking a little bit of algae every day in either powder or capsule form is a way to nourish the body. These are the basic supplements. Digestive system, the algae to nourish. So what I have done is you have this chart. I have supported my digestive system, and I'm nourishing the body, because you know that most degenerative conditions have to do with deficiencies. It's either enzymes deficiency or this mineral or that mineral, calcium, vitamin D. So those are all deficiencies that you can find out what's going on in your body by doing tests. So to address it, I want to nourish with a food that has everything in it. Take it in the morning, I know it's giving me everything, except for vitamin D, which you get from the sun or some mushrooms. Mushrooms are high in vitamin D also. So I have two departments addressed. The last department is what am I going to do for my liver and kidneys to support liver function and kidney function. Again, I could rely on some supplements, but you don't need to rely on antioxidants that support the liver, which will reduce oxidative stress in the liver and allow it to detoxify well. You don't need to start on antioxidants. You need to start on the basic products, which is supporting digestive health and the algae, and see how you do. 2 months, 3 months later, if you don't see improvement, then you can add antioxidants. If you see improvement, you don't need the antioxidants because the algae has antioxidants. Sometimes it may not be enough, but never start right away with antioxidants. Just wait. Give your body a chance and see what happens. The antioxidants I'm talking about to address liver and kidneys health, there's 3 of them. You never start with all 3. They're all different in their function and what they do for the body. The first one I like to start with, and it has excellent antioxidants from blueberries, from green tea. It's a mild antioxidant. It doesn't cause a lot of detoxification in the body. So once you finish, now you can try Q10. Q10 is also an antioxidant that is done through the fermentation process. So you say, okay, you rely on whole foods, but this is not whole food. This is Q10. What is Q10? Q10 is produced through fermentation process. The bacteria, they can put bacteria on any type of food. They can put it on spinach or any type of food to produce the Q10. So when you take a supplement like this to the body, it's native. It recognizes it as the Q10 it will produce in the body if you're healthy. Q10 is excellent to support the heart, the brain, and gum conditions. Now, the ultimate antioxidant is sprouts. It's based on 5 types of sprouts: kale sprouts, wheat sprouts, red clover sprouts, red algae, which has a lot of different colors, the orange, the green, the red. So it has all of the phytochemicals that your body needs. However, it's the strongest antioxidant, food-based antioxidant, that can cause some healing crisis or detoxification in the body. I never recommend it initially. I always wait and see how far the person I'm working with has gone in the healing process. And if there is any congestion or not a lot of progress, then I would bring the big gun. And it's 5 types of sprouts. It's excellent as also anti-inflammatory. So now we've covered all 3 departments. One of the questions that one of you had to me is, there are a lot of supplements with this company, and I'm confused what to start with. Let me take the confusion out with this talk. You just start with the digestive system support and the algae. Okay, so that's going to take away any confusion you have. Then you could add some antioxidants in the future. But what about the other products? The other products, for example, which has 5 types of mushrooms, nothing else, just mushrooms. Do we need mushrooms, wild grown and organically grown? Yeah. If there is a major immune system weakness, this is a great product. So the rest of the products, there's like 35 supplements. The rest of the supplements are specific for conditions. So always talk to the person who's coaching you with these supplements and ask them, do you have something for this or that? And they'll tell you about the rest of the products. But mushrooms are amazing too because they have a lot of vitamin D2. So if you eat them raw or if you take them as a supplement, especially when you have a major weakness for your immune system. My brother was diagnosed with prostate cancer 2001. And me being his young sister, he wouldn't listen to me no matter what I tell him. So I told him to go to a clinic in Florida called the Hippocrates Center. And in there, the first supplement they told him he has to take was mushrooms. So they gave him a supplement that has 10 types of mushrooms. They told him the importance of mushrooms in terms of keeping the immune system strong. Cancer is a weak immune system. So these are different types of supplements that you could talk to your coach and learn about how it support the body. Now, if you want to know the amazing properties of what's in the algae, and you want to see it externally, you could use the algae lotion. Some of you, there's 3 samples left there. You can take some. The algae lotion has also other ingredients like coconuts and aloe and so forth. if you use it for anything that goes wrong in the body, on the skin, take it back, on the skin, you'd be amazed at how it can support that area. For whether you injured your skin, you bumped it, you bruised it, you have an insect bite, you have sunburn, psoriasis, you name it. Apply that lotion and watch what happens. You won't believe me until you try the lotion. I just use it right now as a moisturizer on my face. So it has really good support for the immune system that's right under the skin by giving it the nutrients that you have in the algae that can support that area. So you find relief. You know, if you, let's say if you bumped your skin and you have a terrible bruise and you put that lotion, the next day there is no blue and black. There won't be discoloration of the skin. So that's how you know how amazing algae is. So we talked about antioxidants and pass this on. This is the only thing I have for antioxidants. And also, you can pass that on. And also, if you want to learn about the products, you can pass these brochures on. So at this point, we talked about supplements and how they can support the most important system in the body, and that is the detoxification system. When you look at this chart, what I wrote down here is where a degenerative condition will fit into what happens to the immune system. So when you have a condition, like for example, mine was eczema, through science and clinical studies, you will find that eczema falls in the immune system being hyper. The Chinese call it too much heat in the body, so you have eczema. So we call it, according to the medical model, you have a hyperimmune system. A weak immune system, diseases like cancer, AIDS, would fall into a weak immune system. And the last thing with the immune system is a confused immune system, where you have conditions like lupus, multiple sclerosis, Parkinson's, where the body cells attack itself. So every chronic condition has to do with what happens to your immune system. Can it support itself anymore? Can it defend itself? And if not, what's going on? So guess what? The immune system depends on its ability to function in a normal way on the detoxification system. So if your detoxification system, which is made of kidneys, liver, digestive system, and lungs, if these systems and organs are not in good shape, your immune system is not in good shape. So how did Beeler and the functional medicine doctors said to help the body get back to a homeostasis level, balance level in the immune system, take care of the digestive system, the liver, and nourish your body well? So that's the whole health model. That's how the supplements would support. And now the next step is to talk about diet. So you always have to go to what is it in your lifestyle that brought you to the state where you're in right now. Diet plays a major role. It is the fuel that we put in our bodies every day to nourish. So it's allow the body either going to produce healthy cells or it's going to produce sick cells. So my skin, for all the years, was producing really sick cells. open sores. So every condition, it could be internal or it could be external. So healthy cells could be produced for your heart, so you have a healthy heart. Healthy cells could be produced in the brain. All of that is produced as a result, whether it's sick cells or healthy cells, as a result of the foods you're putting in your mouth every day. That's your fuel. If it's the correct diet, well, what the heck is a correct diet? Is it the blood type? Is it becoming vegetarian? That's where my confusion was. It isn't about that at all. Is it raw diet, cooked diet? It isn't about that at all. The two most important concepts you want to know about if you're eating a healthy diet or not, whether the food is enzymatically active or if it's more on the alkaline side, not the acidic side. Food's either going to produce an acid ash at the end of the day after it burns to energy, or it's going to produce an alkaline ash. By alkaline, I mean mineral-rich foods. By acidic foods, I mean foods that don't have much minerals. So when I learned that, you want to learn about the acid, alkaline, and the enzymes concepts in determining your diet that you're going to be eating every day. Why? We are an alkaline being. We're not an acidic being. So if you take the pH level of every cell in your body, except the gut and the bladder, those are acidic cells in that area. But if you take the rest of your body, every fluid, lymphatic fluid, blood, brain cells, heart cells, and you examine the pH in those cells, it's on the alkaline side. What does that mean? I said alkaline means mineral rich. Every system, every organ in your body, every chemical reaction relies on minerals. So, as I learned all of that, I thought to myself, enzymes, activity in food, acid, alkaline, I'm supposed to eat a lot of alkaline foods to be healthy. Well, that means I should eat raw food. 100% raw food is the ideal diet. But that's not me. You have to create a diet that fits into your lifestyle. If you can go 100% raw food diet, and I know a lot of people who are living that way, more power to you. That's ideal. But I asked myself, if not just wanting to heal, but I wanted something to stick with for the rest of my life. I don't want to call it diet. I want to call it a healthy lifestyle. So I thought, okay, what if I eat 2 meals raw, fruits and vegetables, and 1 meal cooked? That was a good solution to allow myself to have my soup, to allow myself to have my rice, my fish. And that way, I could still sandwich that acidic meal with lots of fruits and vegetables to give me the minerals that I need. And also take my algae because it's mineral rich. So in this plate, all the colorful foods, the different colors, those are all minerals. Minerals is what make foods have all these different colors. And you want to eat them a lot every day. So my breakfast is a smoothie made of fruits and vegetables. That gives my body a lot of minerals. It's an alkaline meal. My lunch is made what I call brown and white foods. The potatoes, the rice, the fish, the sardine, the beans. So this part right there, the quinoa, the eggs, I still can enjoy them. I'm not depriving myself of any of these foods. So it's a doable diet. When it comes to cheese, I eat cheese, but I eat goat cheese. Okay, so fish, sardine, salmon, They're excellent foods. So I enjoy I call it my acidic meal in the middle of the day or at dinner. And then at the end of the day, when I'm hungry, I'm having my vegetables, either a salad. If I have the energy, I'll make a vegetable juice. If I get really hungry, some people tell me, we still will get hungry late at night. Okay, eat something raw. Don't stress your liver, which works at night when you go to sleep. Don't stress it with something cooked. Give it something raw. Eat papaya, eat coconut, eat whatever. Don't cause your body to be hungry. You can eat as much as you want. You won't gain the weight. Because 70%, 2 meals of your diet every day are fruits and vegetables. I enjoy my smoothies. I enjoy my salads. I enjoy my peanut butter, which a lot of people look at that and say, what? You eat peanut butter? I grew up in Asia. I make my salad dressing from peanut butter. So if you guys want to know this great recipe for a salad dressing, Google gado gado, and you'll see the recipe for this amazing salad and the recipe for the peanut sauce. G-A-D-O, gado gado. Cooking with what oils? Very important. You don't want to use hydrogenated oils. You want oils that don't burn at high temperature. The first one is ghee, which is clear butter, clarified butter. Second one is raw coconut oil. So those are the two sources of cooking if you're sautéing your foods. So is this a doable diet? Of course. Am I depriving myself of anything? I don't eat meat, but I love fish. So that's a type of meat. If you want to eat meat, then choose the least acidic type of meat. And by acidic, I'm talking about what happens when you eat the meat in your digestive system. It takes 20 plus hours if you eat a piece of beef, if you eat a steak, for that steak to break down for that protein to break down into amino acids. So it takes for chicken, it takes 8 to 9 hours. But for fish, it takes about 6 hours. So the body doesn't care where that protein is coming from. What it cares about is whether that protein will break down to amino acids quickly, instead of just sitting here and fermenting. So diet makes a huge difference. Don't deprive yourself of your favorite foods. Just go from processed foods to whole foods. Go from white rice to brown rice. Go from bread that is made from flour to sprouted bread. So all what you're doing is you're going from processed foods to whole foods. So yes, I eat bread, I eat eggs, I eat all these foods, but I choose foods as close to nature as possible. Then sit back. You're supporting now your digestive system with the supplements. You're nourishing the body with the algae. You're eating more alkaline foods. Sit back and watch what happens in the body. It is a miraculous machine. It knows what to do. It knows how to heal you. All what it needs are the tools. Your foods are the tools full of these nutrients that the body needs. And your supplements support the most important system in the body, which is your gut. What happens when you follow my advice and you start the supplements and you're eating more mineral-rich foods, more alkaline foods? You will go through a stage called detoxification. That's the first stage of healing. That's the uncomfortable stage. That's the stage where you call me and say, Danya, you told me to eat this way, and I'm taking my enzymes in, but I feel like crap. I don't feel good. I have fever, diarrhea. My skin is breaking out. And my answer to you is, congratulations. It's happening. You know, the body has to get rid of toxins first before you can heal, before it can produce healthy cells. It has to get rid of these years of dead cells, old cells, toxins. And way you detoxify is in your weakest system. My weakest system was my skin and my gut. So I suffered initially with gut reactions. I suffered initially with the worsening of my skin condition. But I understood the process, so it didn't scare me. So reading these two books, The Body Heals, Detoxification and Healing. They're written by excellent MDs, functional medicine doctors. I want to read to you. If you come up here after the talk, don't handle this book because all the pages are falling apart. Just look at the title. So I want to read to you what Dr. Farrell says about the detoxification system. Some people collect trash in their yards, houses, and cars. So it is with certain owners' cells that collect trash, water within their body tissues and chambers. What he means by that, he calls a person owner. And the water is your trash collector in the body. So, dirty cells, no, I'm sorry. These cells are crying out for someone to take out the garbage internally. Dirty cells lose functional ability. The most powerful trash remover, water, needs the help of certain body organ systems, which is your liver and your gut. But water is the trash collector. So he calls this system the trash, the garbage, the trash collector. This was a very common sense information about the detoxification system. Now, this doctor said something different. He calls the detoxification system, he calls it the sanitation system. So what he says, starting from here, if our sanitation department did make itself known to us, say by making noise, and if you have a dysfunctional digestive system, it would drown out all the comparable noises of walking, thinking, and talking. Imagine the machinery of detoxification mostly in the liver, emitting an enormous grinding, grounding, gurgling sound that would dwarf our loudest intestinal rumblings and belches. Considering that most of the detoxification goes on at night, the noise of our sanitation department would surely keep us up if we're able to give forth sounds comparable to the work it does. So people that suffer from insomnia or any inability to sleep well at night have a dysfunctional liver, because that's what this doctor is saying. So he says, to understand the substantial portion of our daily expenditure of energy on all the chores of living that require making new molecules, consider how it would go if the body were a municipality. Sanitation department will take 80% of the energy. That means your detoxification system is so important that 80% of your energy is going towards what the gut does and what the liver does. That's how important it is. Not going to the immune system, your detoxification system. The municipality has police, which is the immune system. It only gets 5% of your energy. So imagine what is important for your body. It's your liver and your gut. All the energy is going there. The municipality has a school system, which is your central nervous system, and that gets 10% of the energy. Public works is the maintenance of organs. It gets 6%. So I just wanted you to imagine and visualize if your body is like a municipality and the energy goes where? To the sanitation department, to your liver and your gut. That's how important these systems are. So here is a couple of articles I wrote that got published. The first one is on the acid alkaline, and the second one is on the healing process, or the healing crisis, or detoxification. Why do you feel worse initially as you improve your diet and you take the supplements and your diet becomes more alkaline? Why do you feel worse? So basically, the idea, or as a summary of what it would take to bring you back to a homeostatic level where everything is balanced in your body, you require two things. You require a healthy, more alkaline diet. That's 50% of the solution. And you require supplements that will support your digestive system and your liver and your kidneys. And those are the probiotics, the enzymes, and the algae. So basically, if you make those changes to your lifestyle, you will see, and if you educate yourself, because making changes without really knowing the reasons why you're making these changes is not going to stick all the time. So by making these changes to your diet and by taking these supplements, you've got a program that's unbeatable, that puts back the responsibility on you to heal your body, to make some changes in your kitchen, in your diet, and just sit back and watch how the body can heal itself. I appreciate you're all coming here today, and I hope I gave you some good educational information about how to support your body and bring it back to health and vitality. Thank you. Protein, fatty acids, carbs, minerals, vitamins, enzymes. That's in real food. Your body says, thank you. It's the whole thing that I need to work to produce energy. So you're giving your body nutrients that it will use to produce health and vitality. Well, let's say cookies. What does cookie provide you? First of all, it's missing enzymes because it's cooked. Vitamins are as sensitive as enzymes. So any heat will deactivate all the vitamins. They're catalysts. They can't do a chemical reaction in the body. If you heat it, it's gone. So your cookies has no vitamins and no enzymes. And then the grains are flour-based. The flour-based will ferment. It's all sugar, simple sugars. Any food made from flour, breads, pasta, cookies, rice, processed white rice. That sugar, that will ferment in the gut into alcohol. So the book by Sidney Baker, Detoxification and Healing, he said, imagine every time you eat something that is made from flour, whether cookies or pasta, or start to imagine that will turn into alcohol and how bad that alcohol will affect your liver. So the minute I visualize that in my brain, I haven't touched pasta in 15 years. That's my favorite food, pasta and shrimps. Never touched it.
Chow mein.
No chow mein.
So pasta, chow mein, just like noodle, right?
Noodles. Yeah. Noodles doesn't grow in soil. It's not natural. You have to turn it to flour. You have to make the noodles. So once in a while, it's fine. I mean, I'll have an ice cream once in a while, but it's what you do daily that matters. So whatever you put in your mouth, does it have all of that? Because if it doesn't have all of that, the body still has to turn that cookie into energy. Where is it going to get the minerals and vitamins? It needs all of that to turn that food into energy. It will take it from your bones, it will take it from your tissues to process it into energy. So that cookie costs your body health and vitality. You see the difference? But if I eat the honey and there's so many recipes, raw food recipes, sweets that you can get online. One of my favorite is raw macaroons with coconuts and dates and honey. So I'm still enjoying my sweet. We all have sweet tooth or sweet teeth, sweet tooth, right? So we all enjoy the sweet foods. So don't deprive yourself of it, but know the difference. Okay, that honey is not going to feed my candida or my harmful bacteria in the body because it has all the nutrients in it. So there's so many different schools of thinking, and I go with the thinking that if it's a whole food, it's good for you. It's made in nature. It has all of that. It's not going to cost my body health and vitality. It's going to put back in my body health and vitality. Make sense?
Yep.
And again, on dairy, what is your saying about dairy?
Nothing from a cow except butter. Because butter, the fatty acids in it is medium chain fatty acids. So it's like coconut oil. Everything else, if you want cheese, get it from goat. And if the milk is raw, that's even ideal. So the cheese that I have there is from raw goat milk, goat cheese, raw goat milk. So I don't, my yogurt is goat yogurt. So I still enjoy dairy, but it's goat-based. Did you have a question?
Why is it wrong or not good to saute with olive oil?
Because the heat temperature, you don't saute at 100 degrees or 112 degrees. So anything beyond that will start burning. And olive oil is very sensitive. It will start to oxidize right away. So you want the ghee or the coconut oil when you're sauteing something. I don't like the taste of coconut oil when I'm sauteing vegetables, but I like the butter taste. So I use ghee. That you can take the heat up to 400 degrees and it won't oxidize or burn. So that's a healthier. I mean, it's just like if you cook with butter and you see it burning, and then you eat the eggs with that brown, burned butter. That's oxidized fat right there. So you want the type of fat that can withstand high heat.
Oh yeah. How about sesame oil?
Sesame oil?
Sesame oil?
Yeah, cold pressed sesame oil can withstand high heat.
What kind of oil?
Yeah. I'm sorry, sesame oil.
Sesame?
Yeah.
It's not the rose one.
Peanut oil.
I eat oatmeal. Oatmeal. Is that good?
Yeah, if you get raw oats
To cook it?
and take your enzymes with it, you'll be fine.
Okay.
And not put milk with it, just,
I do.
okay, just water.
Raw honey is great with it,
Yeah,
Yeah.
just oatmeal
and fruit.
So this chart is in here. So this is a good reminder for you that what's in real food, all of that. And this is the scientific research and clinical studies about the algae. A lot of these research and clinical studies have been done at McGill University in Canada, which is equivalent to Harvard University in the US. So you'll enjoy reading what the researcher has said about the algae. So pass that on, one of each. And go ahead. It's okay. Just get the unsalted in water. You don't want anything in olive oil or. If you try this brand, sardine is a lot more nutritious than tuna. So if you try this brand, it's skinless, boneless sardines in water. There's no salt or anything. And you can mix it with the mayonnaise and all that, and it will taste just as good as tuna fish. You won't know the difference.
I have it on pastry. So I know the pastry is bad.
And coffee is bad. Okay, coffee. Coffee. What does coffee give you? Nothing. But yet it will turn to energy, right?
Yes.
Okay? How does that happen? Your body will say, okay, I don't have vitamins or minerals. I'm going to get it from your bones. So by the time you get to 60, you've got osteoporosis because you're pouring complete acid. Coffee is complete acid. You're pouring that in your body every day. And every day you do that, you're losing minerals. Sorry. No Starbucks. Sorry.
And no stuff, and no pastry.
No pastry because it's flour. You know what? Go online and you will find excellent recipes for pastries made from raw foods. Because you have to take the time to do that.
I went to the Whole Foods, like we have to sell those.
Oh, and you can go to some of the restaurants here that sell raw sweets. You can buy it ready-made. Go ahead.
Vegetable pastas. That's vegetable based, like spinach.
Yeah, of course, that's good. Yeah. Because it's food based, it's not flour.
Would you recommend something else used as a sweetener for baking? Like, for instance, I like to make like a raisin banana cookies with like oats and stuff. And I always use honey, but I always wondered if there's something else.
Maple syrup would be the second alternative. Maple syrup.
When you say that you want oils, or you say that oils are, that can withstand high temperatures, the ones that don't, would that be the same thing as hydrogenated?
No, hydrogenated is the processing of the seed to get the oil, but it goes through so many chemical processes. Bleaching, we're using the bleaching process in the hydrogenation.
Okay.
So by the time that oil, you deodorize it too with chemicals, so by the time that hydrogenated oil is ready to go on the shelf, that's not food. That's completely a chemical substance.
Okay. It's not, there's a difference though between the hydrogenated and the sort of the lower oil used to hydrogenate.
Right.
Okay.
So my brother has Parkinson's, and there's Parkinson's here, and I have clients with ALS and Huntington's disease, and they all know that these are brain related. So my question is, how much does poor nutrition affect brain disease?
Well, it's always a combination of two things: exposure to toxins and deficiency of nutrients. We don't know what you're deficient of, but if the diet is mostly processed, you're deficient of a lot, mostly minerals. So let's say, I'll take my late husband as an example. I totally forgot because it wasn't Parkinson's, it's Lewy body dementia that hit him 4 years before he started seeing some drastic, alarming symptoms. So I would say if you take an inventory of his lifestyle, before I met him, he would buy boats and refurbish them and doesn't wear a mask. So he was exposed to fiberglass. He was exposed to all sorts of the paint, that, exterior paint, all sorts of toxins. And then he switched So when we change our lifestyle and we started taking these supplements, if I put him on the Sprouts, he resisted taking the Sprouts product because every time he takes it, his face, he has rosacea. His face would break out. He was a public speaker, so he never wanted that to happen. He didn't take the strong enzymes, he took the mild enzymes. So as we're working together to improve our lifestyle, he always resisted pushing for detox because of what happened on his skin. Then I went through the extreme detox. Then I started juicing at night. And I would tell my late husband and Ayman, hey, dinner tonight, a vegetable juice and some raw nuts. Both of them tell me, no, thank you. You eat the stuff. We're going to spaghetti place, what is it called? Spaghetti factory, their favorite place, okay? So, and then he saw the transformation that happened in my body. My skin improved, all the health problems went away, and he still would not do anything because of being a public speaker. And then it hit him out of the blue, just lost 30 pounds in 1 year and so forth. And I tried everything, but sometimes, at that point, he said, do whatever you need to do. I will listen to you. I'll take the juice. But sometimes these diseases get to the point of no return. No matter what you do, the progression continues. But if I didn't do what I did for him, he would not have lasted 4 or 5 years extra after the symptoms started to appear. So I would say you never know where the body is at the level of where the body is. Most Parkinson's patients that I work with, because I have a video on Parkinson's on my YouTube, not in English language, in a different language. But I get these people from all over the world asking me about Parkinson's. And some have gotten wonderful results. So if nothing else, you still can create improvements, thinking, walking, all of that can improve. Whether the disease itself can be reversed, I'm not sure. But mind you, neurological conditions, this is a great resource for Parkinson's, for ALS, and all of that. So, I haven't done an aggressive enzyme therapy for him because he always resisted. So who knows? Maybe following what this doctor is saying can reverse such conditions.
You know about glutathione?
Yes. Glutathione is in the algae. I never recommend a single isolated supplement like glutathione. It doesn't work on its own. It requires other amino acids. It requires minerals and so forth. So you eat a glutathione-rich food. The algae has that. Very high in glutathione. Turmeric is very high in glutathione. So I use spices too in healing the body. Turmeric, cumin, ginger, all of them are high in glutathione.
You just proved yourself.
I did?
I do a lot of times for Parkinson's. There's a lot of local naturopath is doing work with the reformulation of glutathione. The results are remarkable, and the doctors will approve. And if you ask 99% of people in the population who know anything about glutathione, nobody's ever heard of it. Nobody's heard of it. And it's crucial. And what they found is that as we age, our body produces less glutathione, and now with more toxins in the environment, we have less glutathione, and they know that in folks with Parkinson's, there's absolutely no glutathione in the brain. And glutathione is an antioxidant.
It is.
So it's not.
It's what we call the master antioxidant.
Yes, right. Bravo.
And bravo to these books. Bravo to these MDs. Because, I love reading these books and learn from these doctors. So they make sense. but they go to the isolated supplements. And I go to, okay, what's the food that has the highest amount of glutathione? That's what I want in my body. And it's related to the liver. So you remember I said antioxidants support the liver and kidneys, reduce oxidative stress. So that's something that you keep in mind too. What can you do? Turmeric is the highest amount of glutathione, more than algae, that can support liver function. Isn't that amazing? The kidney, the liver is yellow. When you look at the actual liver, it has that yellow color to it, and turmeric has that yellow color. So,
I just want these gentlemen here, sir. I eat pure oatmeal with cinnamon, turmeric, ginger, and raw honey, and then I slice up fruit, pineapple. And I use turmeric all the time.
Well, you done too?
I just take it in the spoon and
I can't.
Oh, wow.
I know.
I haven't tried that one.
my brother had back problems all his life, and he's a golfer. And he got to the point where he couldn't golf very much because you get up in the morning, you feel like somebody is painful in the back. So he tried everything, including a procedure in Germany where they take something out of your spine and go and do something to it in the lab and then put it back in you with a lot of acupuncture. He paid $16,000 for that procedure for 3 days in that clinic. Didn't do anything for him. He finally listened to his young sister. What did I tell him? Turmeric, ginger, and cumin. And he started at small amounts, 4 capsules of each, didn't do much. When he got to 16 capsules of each, back is fixed completely. So he gets up in the morning without any sore back, he can walk, play golf. So he talks about ginger, cumin, and turmeric all the time. You invite him to dinner and he'll talk to you about that.
Should you take it on an empty stomach or can you put it in a smoothie?
Any food. Yeah. One of the supplements is, and it has turmeric in it. So it has turmeric, green tea, wheatgrass, bee pollen. So 6 foods in one, including the turmeric. Thank you so much.